second me pause. In a heartbeat, I realized that there's no telling when or if I see any of them ever again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. I follow. Focus. Vamos a ir en orden. Primero con Ice. Morbid curiosity draws me after Ice. I slink out the back of the butt-wig. The alley is dead silent, not really what I expected from my fight. A dull crunch reaches my ears, then a thud. I peer around the corner of the building, careful to keep hidden. Door glistening red coats the ground, speeding down shallow ridges in the cobblestone. It guides my eye to a collapsed body across from me. One so violent, the lowlife is no little more than a sack of crumpled flesh. Ice exhales, his breathing misting against the cold air. Blood flecks his knuckles as he lumps over the motionless man. Fear spreads like ice in my bones. Moments ago he was joking and friendly with the others, but now Ice, crimson eyes find me in the dark. A running sparrow? Jack Sparrow? Sí soy. I worriedly rise to my feet, moonlight illuminating my face. I thought I was out of sight, but eyes in the back of my head. No. Vale. Ice steps of the man, my eyes still locked on the body, is wet with layers of... que está tiesito. He's alive. Are you sure? Calling me a killer or a liar? Mentiroso. Liar, which I guess will make you a killer too. In that case, he's dead. Vaya. I squint and Ice smirks back. Don't believe me? To be honest, it's hard to believe anything coming out of your mouth. I'm a liar after all. Ice tries to rub his reddening knuckles clean, but ends up smearing the blood around me more. I keep making bad impressions on you. I didn't know you care about my opinion. Just prefer you didn't piss yourself when we talk. Annoyance bubbles in my chest. Well, I'm not pissing myself, even with your bad impressions. Like the first time we met, Ice chips away at my fear, replacing it with irritation instead. He kneels beside the lowlight and freaks him. I can't help but wonder if the crime was worth the punishment, but I hold my tongue. Definitely, Ice's hands search through the man's pockets. It doesn't take him long to find his prize, a cigarette and a matchbox. He strikes a match as sparks illuminate his angular features with a golden glow for a moment, but my gaze inevitably drifts back to the moody body. You're just gonna leave him there? I draws deep from the cigarette. He exhales heavily, smoke curling past his lips. I breathe in a sweet, spiced scent. June melts away. He looks at me with cool, lidded eyes. His tension melts away. He looks at me with cool, lidded eyes. Should I give him a plan? Es que está dormidito. Claro, es por respeto. Pero nada, está tendido ahí. Unbothered by the maybe corpse, he takes a seat on a crate opposite the bar. I stand awkwardly, forgetting why I came out here in the first place. An unpleasant silence stretches between us. Weather's nice. cold, murky, and humid he means. I want to believe he's teasing me, but for all I know, this is present for Eridia. Was Princess good company? Who? He takes another long drag. His metal rings catch the light of the cigarette in a flash of red. Detallazo. Detallazo. The soulless who escorted you back. You named it Princess? Jealous? Aren turned his smile. You have no idea. I think your nickname's more fitting. Sparrow. Not sure where Ace got it from. Maybe I should tell him to call me by my name, but it's kind of nice. Not that I'd ever tell him that. Before I can dissect my feelings, I quickly changed the subject back to the soulless. She was cute. She was kind of cute in a weird way. I glanced up. Absentee-mindedly at my hand, remembering how she nuzzled my palm. Eyes. ¿Qué es un tramalengua? Eyes softened from my brief moment. Yo creo que ¿cómo se pronuncia el nombre de él? ¿Como hielo? ¿Hice? Her tail wouldn't stop going when she got back. The group of them don't get much attention. Think she's cute now. Wait till you see her tricks. You taught her tricks? You taught her tricks? Lo dije mal. Princess is a smart one. She will learn anything if you have the right rewards. Sounds about right. The idea of tamed soulless is still so outlandish to me. I was attacked by a mindless, bloodthirsty beast, and he's talking about them like they are pets. But it's possible because of the sea spring. I need to get the answers he wouldn't give me before. I carefully take a seat beside him on the crate, contemplating my strategy. Ice doesn't seem to mind. He crosses his eyes, tilts his head back against the wall, relax. Without the pressure of his intense gaze, I feel myself ease up, as long as I keep my attention away from the bloody heap across from us. I glance over at Ice and let my eyes linger. Estamos analizando. A cigarette-colored tattoo spirals up his arm, painting over groups of muscle. His silver jewelry glints in the moonlight, drawing my eyes to his bare chest, blue hands, carved jaw. His ears, his horns, his pupils, everything about Ace is sharp, even the fangs that only show when he grins. But my attention drawn back to the tattoo. Something about it feels unnatural, as if the tendrils move when I'm not looking. What's your verdict? I whip my head in the opposite direction. What verdict? Got a long good look. Are you impressed or do I need work? My face grows hot. You're annoying. He visto peores. I guess I have seen worse. He responds with a low chuckle, wrapped within a smoke. Keep staring then. No mires to see. My embarrassment spikes. Without thinking, I brought out a new topic. I have questions about the system. Oh, nope. Boredom eclipses his amusement in an instant, and he closes his eyes again. Of course you do. I thought I made myself clear about what you be giving up. Yeah, before you kick me out to go drinking, I still need to know more. My turn for a question. It sounds more like an order. I bluster under his narrow gaze. Fine. He takes a long pull from his cigarette and lets the smoke trail slowly from his nose. Your curse. What about it? This song and dance is all too familiar. The selfish questions come first. What does it do? Is it painful? Can you control it? I brace myself for the inevitable onslaught. Is the thought of living with it really unbearable? My dread dies with his words. No one has ever asked me that before. You have survived this long unless you are running out of time. I wonder if it's really worth the sacrifice. He flicks the cigarette aside and props his head on blood smeared knuckles. But what do I do? But what do I do? What? But what do I know? I'm just an outsider. My fingers force with a trim of my clock. Ordinarily, I'd be annoyed, but now my chest feels tight. You could, you could have sold me if you were less honest. You're a shit salesman. Thought I was a liar. I changed my mind. We lapse into silence again. This time, it's surprisingly nice. The quiet, chilled air is a balm on my nerves. You know, you didn't seem like an outsider back at the bar. A lot of people like you. Ice raises a brow at me. I start by asking about. I was surprised to see that you and Beer are crows. Blessing and a curse. From what I have gathered, most people think he's, I don't know, an asshole? And rather's wet. I wait for him to elaborate, but he doesn't. So, what do you like about him? I lets out a quiet laugh. Lot of things. You already named one. You like that he's an asshole? The parliament matches the drapes. Looks good in blood and better in tears. Everything. La cura. He catches himself, clears his throat. It's hard not to let the disappointment show in my expression. Pero es algo personal. Si no te quiere decir es porque es personal. Beer is one of the most honest people you will meet. Just don't listen to a single thing he says. Well, that was confusing. Nadie más. Vamos a conocer más o menos uno por uno. My main point, speaking from experience, is that being an outsider usually means you don't have friends. I don't. Level him with a tired look. Fine, I confess. I have one friend. Don't say yourself. Oh, kudos. As soon as he says the name, a thick wave of unease runs through me. The same sensation I felt at the spring and the outskirts. But as quickly as the sick feeling hits, it dissipates, leaving me eerily numb to the prickling cold. Who's that? A friend lives in my head. Super normal. Es que es un amiguito que vive en mi cabecita. It lives in your head. I stab his temple with a finger. Estoy loco. Ah, right here. Scared you off, yeah? That'd be the third bad impression I've made on you today. I'm stunned for a long moment, processing what he just told me. Then I burst into a fit of laughter. You are serious? As ¿Qué hace esa cara? As grins wide enough to flash his fangs deadly. It sounds so fucking absurd, especially on top of everything I have done in the past 2 days. It feels like I'm living in a fever dream. Voy a decir esta palabra, no sé si damn. Creo que damn es también. So it sounds so absurd. Creo que se puede saltar. I have come close to death more times than I can count. I have encountered them soulless and a horrifying group mind. Now I'm supposed to believe that there's someone living inside Ice's head. There are tears in my eyes by the time I reel myself in. Ice waves passing, lips quirked in amusement. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. You just made it sound so normal. The tension that wound my shoulders so tightly has melted away. For the first time in a long time, I don't feel like I'm bracing to brag. I feel like I can breathe. Lucas! Lucas. Yo pensaba que llamaba Lucas. Where in the rat's ass? Ass. Are you? A shout cracks the spell. Raucous group shouts echo down the streets, followed by the thunder of heavy boots sloshing through mud. The voices share the low-life's accent, the same low-life who's still maybe dead, lying bloodied across from us. I nearly forgot about him. I jumped on my feet as their voices get louder. They're closing in quick. Ice pulls me by the wrist out of the alley away from the beaming moonlight. We dive into a nook between buildings, veiled in the shade of tattered canopies. It's a tight fit. Ice boxes me in against the wall. He towers over me, his body elbow pressed against mine. For the second time today, the heady scent of smoke envelops me, now coated with the metallic think of someone else's breath. Ice pitches his voice low, quiet. My heart leaps into my throat. My heart. I'm suddenly acutely aware of the heat radiating of ice, the feeling of his leg raising. What the fuck? This is bad. I scream against him and earn a burning crimson glare. Do we really have to? His hand covers my mouth, moving my whispers. He shakes his head. Don't. Damn, he's over here. Lucas! Wake up, you bastard! A group of individuals, all brandishing spike weapons, fill the alley. They wear vile sashes, some kind of uniform. I wish I could see what they're doing, but Ice arm rocks my side. And to the smallest smirk I've ever seen. Para sospecho minal. No me Stare at his chest. Glare at him. ¿Qué son estas opciones? Ninguna me gusta. No, vamos a mirar el pecho. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of options. My eyes dart away from his face, following the line of his necklace down his chest. The way the pendant hangs above his abdomen, just because the skin gets swallowed by darkness. A thrill jolts through me, my face hot beneath his touch. This can't be happening. Why am I getting so worked up in this situation? The voices entirely grab Ice's attention this time. Crap! He's got more broken ribs than whole ones. What kind of freak did this? Find out. Find the one responsible. You three. They took us back to the base. At least he's still breathing. The alley clears out as footsteps rush away from us. We stay still until they are distant, melting into the rumble of the porter. Only then does Ice take his hand off my mouth. When we finally step back into the moonlight, the night air is ice on my skin. They said I feel the need to keep my eyes off Ice at all costs. Was that really necessary? Staying hidden was the best option. It would be a hustle to run into them with you there. But because I'm that weak? Because 3 bad impressions are enough for one day. The answer is too vague for my liking, but he's probably right. Either way, I don't have the energy to argue. Come on, Sparrow, let's get you home before you are framed for murder. Very funny. We reach the front of the wet wig. We reach the front of the wet wig. He's infuriating as much as he makes me feel on edge. He can also make me feel safe, secure somehow. You know where to find me. At the greatest place in the world. Take your time before you decide to drink. I happen to like your shitty attitude. It takes me a moment to process that, then my eyes further down to my feet. I'll keep that in mind. And I glance back up from the ground eyes already down the street, disappearing into the throng of people. No fanfare, not even a wave. Asshole. Bueno, ya hicimos habilidades, ahora vamos a hacer el del señor Puras. Puras heals I squeeze out of the bar of everyone I have met. He seems the most likely to help me, and the least likely to murder me on a whim. This morning he said I could go to the clinic whenever I needed help. Time to see if he's a man of his word. I breathed a sigh of relief once I'm free of the crowded bar. Hearing me, Curious turns my way. Tulip, I take it the Amaryllis district is not to your liking. Nothing else is wildly different from the secluded temple where I spend most of my days. It's a bit overwhelming, but that's not why I step out. You do not require treatment after that fall, do you? I scowl up at him, and he holds out his hand in a mollifying gesture. I apologize, Tully, please continue. There you are. Someone cuts across me toward Cures, stopping us both in the middle of the street. Even in the dim pink haze that blankets everything, there's no mistaking her pressed white uniform. She's from the Cenobium, though the flourishes on her clothing look a bit different from the others I have seen. I swiftly step back, making myself as inconspicuous. Nervous onlookers sidestep Curious and the critic. They form an island of white in a sea of people teeming with color. Is this a bad time? Persistence is not always a virtue. Um, that's what you said last time. Can take this and be gone. Bruce reaches into his coat and produces three tiny glass vials, bound together with a thick leather cord. A silvery powder shimmers inside. He gently flicks the vials, watching the contents swirl, and extends them to the cleric. This is it? He looks extremely unimpressed. Looks can be deceiving. He throws me a glance and a swift smile, but I'm too surprised to respond. Okay, so Curious was the first to warn me about the Cenobium. No one had anything good to say about it, and yet here he is, openly dealing with a Cenobian cleric in the Amaryllis district. I glance at Curious and then the cleric, who seems to notice me for the first time. A new patient of yours? Her eyes linger on me for a long, tense moment, but when Curious steps between us, she sighs and disappears in the seething crowd. Tulip, is something amiss? Isn't that dangerous? A conversation is hardly dangerous. You know what I mean. You were the one who warned me about the Cenobian. Be calm. Holds one finger to his lips, which suddenly curl into a cat-like smile. For now, please join me on a short stroll. Curious golden eyes twinkle in the low light. He beckons me away from the main a side street filled with vendors hawking their night snacks. What? Wait! Powerfully curious despite myself, I hurry after Curious. Each of his long, graceful strides easily doubles mine. I catch a glimpse of his gleaming white coat as he disappears around the corner of the street. The moment I catch up, the emphasizing the scent of freshly baked goods float to my nose. My stomach rumbles loudly. One honey pistachio cookie, please. Coming right up. Without breaking his sweet pace, Kuros plucks the sticky confection out of the merchant's hand and offers it to me. The heavenly smell makes my stomach rumble again. I take a bite without hesitation. That's delicious. Kuros watches me with an indulgent smile, and I notice he hasn't gotten anything from himself. You're not hungry? Do not concern yourself with me. He stops, he stops mid-sentence, his eyes darting back to the way we came. The hair stick up on the back of my neck. I turn just enough to peek over my shoulder, hoping I don't look too suspicious. Sure enough, it's the same cleric who waylaid us in the street, now looking very irritated. Oh, well, disappointment can be a learning experience. Glimmers of realization dawned over me as I stared up at him. What exactly was in those vials? Perhaps a potent chemical catalyst, or some stale fish skin. The two do resemble one another, and it can be quite difficult to tell them apart. Is he serious? I chance another glance at the cleric, who's now trying to elbow her way between the food stalls. A few people move aside, but most don't even notice her efforts. The street is too packed with hungry patrons. Shall we? Without waiting for my response, Kuros glides swiftly into the crowd once more. You're messing with a Xenobian cleric? I'm astounded you would even suggest it. Curious. I must still look incredulous because he smiles softens. He lifts his hand as if to pat my shoulder, then stops himself. You have nothing to fear from her. He ducks into what looks like an abandoned doorway that opens into a small covered market. The store here are packed with more spices than I knew existed. Taking a short breath makes me sneeze. Pierce slows his pace, occasionally pausing to examine the insistent altar swears. Wait. He looks up from a spray of livid red leaves, each as long as my forearm. He said I have nothing to fear, but everyone in Iridia seems wary of the Xenobian. People fear the obvious trappings of power, wealth, force, or an ostentatious tower. For my part, I found such trappings disappointing. The Xenobian had great potential. They squandered it decades ago in the pursuit of trinkets, pressure, and petty tyranny. Their narrow, prosaic interests have rendered them blind to all else that moves. I think that's the most I have ever could say on any topic. You sound like you know them well. Curious out a long love side. You mislead us, Tulip. Familiarity breeds contempt, and I'm more familiar with the Xenobian's crude methods than I would like to be. Now I'm getting somewhere, something beyond vague warnings of reflections. I decide to press the point while I have the chance. Miller how? Girl stopped in front of a pickled fruits display and nearly ran into his back. He steps aside at the last moment and rests his arm gently but firmly on my waist. I dance, but he's careful to avoid my bandaged hands. Our pursuer refuses to take no for an answer. Again, I thought we'd lost her in the crowd. I craned my neck to look for the cleric, but Kuro shakes his head. This way. I meant. The next street over is home to high-end brothels with step stairways and shadowy passages, perfect for discreet tourists or losing a persistent tail. Pink curtains and painted fakes sprawl around me like a giant colorful warren. It only takes a few more twists and turns down blind alleys and narrow walkways before I'm completely turned around. Tourists, however, seem to be following some map in his mind. He takes each turn with swift confidence, guiding me with an occasional nudge. The passages between titering buildings are so narrow that we have to sling through single file. just a little further. His effortless grace is almost infuriating. It takes every ounce of my concentration. I have to avoid tripping over loose towels, discarded clothes, and unidentifiable rubbish. Meanwhile, Pur's long legs seem to float over every obstacle. His clothes are still pristine despite the soot-stained walls around us. How the hell does he do it? I'm still trying to puzzle it out when I realize how warm the area has become. The tiny gap between Curious and Miraday's heat, like a brilliant midday sun at the peak of summer. By the start, I realize it's more than physical warmth. The sensation calms my nerves and quiets my mind. The closest thing I have ever felt to a comforting embrace. Vamos por su mano. Distinct and lunging over some reason, I watch as if in slow motion when my bandaged fingers reach for his. This is why I risk my life and limb, isn't it? Chasing a cure, a false hope of safety and warmth. He returned just before I pressed the hem of his sleeve. A comment says, I want to leap back and bring my hands in my cloak, but those golden eyes pursue me, taking me to the ground. I'm so sorry, You have done nothing wrong. His long fingers grasp my outstretched palm. My imagination conjures wild images of his touch. Instead of taking infinite care not to disturb my bandages, he lowers my hand. Follow me. You have nearly lost our pursuer. We emerge on the opposite side of the Amaryllis district. Warm light dances across the river from all directions. I approach the edge of the water transfixed. It's incredible. Heredia holds peace, beauty, and horror in equal measure. Did you enjoy your impromptu relief? Escapes me in a tired laugh. After narrowly escaping death, playing keep away from a Cenobian cleric almost seems normal. It was a nice change of pace. Relaxed to a soft and pleasant chuckle, completely at odds with his usual cool demeanor. Are you sure we have lost her? He will not think to follow us this far. He sounds confident enough. I was starting to wonder if we'd have to make a full circuit of the city to reach her. A flicker of lamplight falls across the shore, softening his features. I should escort you back to your lodgings. It will be unwise to let you go alone. What about you? Are you staying at the Wetwick? Of course not. Then you are going back to your clinic alone? You just said that was a bad idea. He pauses, stares at me, then his expression relaxes into a gentle smile. We're not, Tulip. Only the most desperate or foolish would dare lay a hand on me. It sounds insane after two near-death soulless encounters, but part of me believes him. A few townsfolk huddle beneath street lamps and in doorways, desperate to be as close to safety as possible. Peros, on the other hand, was more relaxed than ever. He strolls along the river bank as if it were broad daylight. Even walking beside him makes me feel more secure, warmer inside and out. I seized that faint spark of hope and mustered my courage. You mean it this morning? When you said I could come back to you for help? Every word. His snort vanishes, replaced by calm focus. I don't know what to say to that. I have expected his offer be a courtesy, an easy way to get me out the door. The fact that he meant it, why do you ask? Eyes flick briefly to my arm, the one that he miraculously retouched when he found me. I can almost Imagine him counting the needed stitches. I wanted to be sure. I'm still figuring out who's trustworthy and who's trouble. I see, Iridia does tend to attract extreme individuals. Including you? Ah, Tulip. I refuse to incriminate myself in your eyes. I can recognize a smooth reflection when I hear one. If he won't talk more about himself, maybe he will tell me about someone else. I decide to ask about me. Sounds like you and me know each other very well. Kuro's hips are long suffering side. I know them better than most, but not as well as I would like. Like you, Mihin is a recent arrival. Their time here has been particularly difficult. As much as we'd like to help, he throws off. But I know exactly what he's talking about. Mihin doesn't seem like the sort to accept help. They always pick fights with adversaries twice their size. I have implored them not to. They rarely listen. Just sufficiently. With my curiosity sated for now, I fall silent. I wish Curious had given me a little more to go on, but he's almost as steeped about others as he's about himself. When we have circled back to the wet week, the Armory district seems even more raucous than before. Drunken patrons overflow into the wine-scented streets. How am I supposed to sleep with all this racket? Suggest the stiffest drink at the bar, alternatively a ball of wax. Very funny. Even with how tired I am, I'm not sure I will get a wink of sleep. I'm about to say goodnight when someone staggers out of the wake and collides into me. Pero es que esta gente no mira. I stumble back, just teetering on the edge of the filthy gutter. Really? The next time I know, a pair of warm arms has me around their waist. I found myself staring up at Curious pressed against his chest, his grasp, but he doesn't quite let me go. Something shifts in his gaze, his eyes fix on my face, and I feel myself growing hot all over at his intense scrutiny. What does he see in me? What's he looking for? Curious? Oh, my apologies. Even after moving away, curious warmth permeates in my clothes. I quickly took my clock straight, trying to recollect my scattered thoughts. Good night. Thanks for everything today. You're most welcome. Vuelve. He turns and slips into the crowd, so I can pick out his pristine white coat with ease. He goes house down the street. When did it get so cold? Vamos a por Mijin. I can't let Mijin slip away so easily. They might be the most stylish person I have met so far, but they are the only one who seems somewhat neutral on the scenario. My gut tells me they know more about the tower than they are letting on. By the time I make it out of the bar, Mihin's already halfway down the street. Drawing my clock close to ward off the shield, I hurry after them, but at this hour the Amarillo district is full of carousers. While Mihin sleeps through the crowd with surprising agility, I struggle to keep my pace. The edge of their clock furious as they round the corner. Determined to catch up, I take the same turn into a dim side street. But Mihin is nowhere to be seen. Did you learn your lesson earlier? No me mires así. Me juzgas. I nearly jumped out of my skin, whirling to find my... Hey, ¿por qué dije my? Whirling to find my behind me. They don't even look ruffled. They fold their arms, pointedly staring me down. I thought nearly getting eaten would have taught you that being out alone at night is dangerous. It's a good thing I'm not alone, then, isn't it? Mihin looks at me in a blank confusion for a moment before realization dawns. Are you always so persistent? I don't really know how to read them. They shift between aggressive and hesitant without warning. I have no idea how to tell which way they will swing, but I can't help feeling a little thrill when pink sweeps across their cheeks. I kind of have to be, is how I stay alive. Mihin recovers their composure quickly, mouth shifting into a frown. They glance away, eyes scanning the street. Their gaze lingers on a particular building, another tower, before they look back at me. You have been lucky so far, but it won't last. Nobody in the city is trustworthy. Not even you? Especially not me. I have met clams that open up more willingly than Mihin, but even if they don't talk about themselves much, they must have opinions on. You and Kira seem to get along though. The tense lines of Mihin's face soften. He's an exception. Few people are willing to help others. Fewer staying still when there's any risk involved. And of them, Kuros is unique. I have a feeling that Mihin doesn't smile often, but the curve of their lips, however slight, is unmistakable. They catch themselves as glazing over with faint difference. He's not the worst, a decent doctor, even if he asks too many questions. But nothing in Iridia is free. He didn't take any payment for me. He really does. That just means he's paying down the debt elsewhere. That's enough for now. Doors bang open at the end of the street. Light and laughter pour out of the tavern, followed by a group of giggling people in white uniforms. The Zambian students having a night out on the town. Mihir hesitates only for a moment before they start down the street after the students. When I follow close on their heels, they grimace, speaking through gritted teeth. Why are you still following me? I don't know how much more Mihin will tell me. If they will tell me anything at all, but I have to ask. They are the closest thing I have to a lead. Ahead of us, the student pull into another bar. Mihin ducks into the alley next to it. If nobody in the city is trustworthy, what about the Xenobium? The line of their narrow shoulders abruptly tenses. They lift their chin, giving me a worried look. You're a stubborn one, aren't you? Kuras must have warned you about the nature of Iridia's currency. Right, information and secrets. I pitch 13. I don't trust Mihin's unpredictable moods. And clearly there are things they aren't saying. Their eyes dip towards my hands, facing over the bandages like a razor. That steady gaze full of twin-edged possibility. I shiver, hastily shoving my hands in my pockets. They frown, but their eyes drift away from me to the window of the bar next to us. It's opaque, either frosted glass or cake dust, but some of the warm light diffuses out into the alley. The Xenobium is a place of learning. If someone has questions that can't be answered anywhere else, the Xenobium might have the solution. Or at least that's how it was once upon a time. These days, the doors are closed to outsiders. That's about what I expected after being shut off earlier. Just as I start to relax, they speak again. Whatever you are looking for there, the cost may be higher than you are willing to pay. The sheer hypocrisy of the words picks me off. What gives you the right to solve? You are doing the same exact thing as me. What questions are you asking? That what only the Xenobian can answer. That's personal. So there is something he's looking for at the Xenobian. I suppose that makes two of us. If there are following groups of Xenobian students around, they must not be having much luck either. Everyone else seems to fear or hate the Xenobian, but you don't. They flinch, spurred by curiosity and lingering annoyance. I press forward. You must know something about them, something you haven't told Leander or Kuras. But they are not letting you in, which means you are one of the outsiders. ¿Por qué dices esas cosas? In the space between one breath and the next, Mihin closes the distance between us. Then, uy, me asusté. Then their fingers grip the front of my shirt and slam me against the wall with shocking strength. The force of the movement knocks their foot back, messy hair floating around their face. I'm standing on tiptoe. My hands lift me nearly clear off the ground with a single hand. The realization sends an electric tingle down my spine, but before I can begin to wonder what that's about, he snarls in my face. You don't know what you are talking about. The angry twist of their mouths draws my eyes down to the beauty spot at the corner of their lips. I can't stop staring at it. The marks refer to their furry. Neither do you. We are practically strangers, so why are you acting like you know anything about me? Your line of questioning is exactly subtle, and it's not hard to guess that this has something to do with your hands. You think you can use me to get into Xenobian? Don't be naive. I don't get angry easily. I can afford to when a moment of carelessness will be fatal. But when Mihin mentions my hands, my temper fresh hot. Who says I'm the one who needs you? Realization strikes me like a thunderclap. You're not getting anywhere by yourself either, are you? But you can't make yourself ask for help. You're stuck and it's your own fault. I brace myself, expecting Mihin to snap at me again. Instead, their eyes drop, their brow furrows in frustration, but the twist of their mouth is merciful. Their voice trembles almost impressed. They speak. I know. This city only cares about you, about what you can give, or what it can take you, or what it can take from you, information, power, connections. If you're an outsider here, nobody will help you. Nobody will even try. You don't belong anywhere. My heart thuds in my chest for an entirely different reason now. They seem suddenly very small, alone, like me. Mihin jerks backwards, releasing me so abruptly that I nearly stumbled. Maybe they realized how close we were. Maybe they say too much. No, ya. Vámonos a dormir. Vivir. My fingers tremble, adrenaline still coursing through my veins. Even if Mihin seems intent on pushing me away, I don't want to curse them. Not like that traveler. Mihin takes a deep breath and lets it out as a sigh. When they look at me again, they're unusually serious. Maybe even sincere. You shouldn't be around me, Tulip. Find someone safer to ask for help. Before I can think of what to say, the tavern doors bang open again. The Sonamistas students spill back out, considerably drunker. Their ranks seem to have swelled with other barflies. The group routes back into town towards that great tower rising moonward. As I'm distracted by the commotion, he draws their hood up and slips away from me. I catch me his eyes for just a moment. Then they're gone, vanishing into the crowd. Ahora vamos con ir. Of all the people I have met, only one left me with more questions than answers. Fear knows more than he's letting on. I'm certain of it. Still, lingering doubt looms heavy over my decision. Can I really trust someone who lies so readily? No. Returning to the bar is slow work with the heavy crowd buying for drinks. When I find Peter, he's leaning against the counter, elbows propped on the edge, and a wine glass raised to his lips. I catch myself staring and judging by the looks I see down his way. I'm not the only one. Yet there's a clear ring around here. No one else seems bold enough to cross. I didn't think you planned on sticking around. One ear perks up at the sound of my approach. A free drink's a free drink's a free drink. Even if it tastes like stale rat piss. Can you just say you wouldn't be cocked slumming in this shitty hole? Pierre takes a delicate sip from his glass, but he still dresses below the bar. You have caught me red-handed. He peers at me over the rim of his glass. In the low light, his eyes glitter jewel bright with amusement. However would you punish me? I figure my company's punishment enough for you. Pierre's lips twitch and he smiles despite himself. I saw your little running with a gibber,
Gibbering.
embezzled by the show. A muscle in my jaw flexes. Did you enjoy watching? I much prefer to be an active participant, but I intervened before I could. I can't tell if he's disappointed because he didn't get to save me or simple because he missed out on a fight. Next time I get jumped, I'll make sure it happens near you. Pierre looks softly under his breath. He rests his glass on the counter with a sharp clink. I did warn you, didn't I? He moves closer and I tense, my heart leaping in anticipation. But he only runs his hand up my arm to dust off debris, not off picked up from the floor, with a touch far gentler than I expected. About finding trouble. He murmurs under his breath while his fingers rub small circles into my shoulder. I whisper for fear of what my boss might do if I speak up. I can take care of myself. He comes out sharper than I intended. Here lets me go with a sigh. So, did you come here for price or will a head pass suffice? What about real explanations instead of vague ramblings about moth and fire? Here scoffs. You could buy me a ring before insulting me. After the way you pounced on me? If anyone's owed me a drink, it's me. Your falls on uncharacteristically quiet that for a moment I fear I have actually crossed that path. Then he props his chin on his ribs. I don't think you understand how things work around here. Information is a luxury. Aren't you flung carelessly aside? To value my words should have taken me seriously. I did. I barely understood what you meant. I gave you free advice, warning you of the danger you were in, and still you went praising off to this drink. Small wonder, Solis didn't tell you to read this. My first impulse is to argue, but what he said doesn't sit well with me. How does he know what happened to me? How do you know I left Iridia? I have a very sensitive nose, remember? Right, how could I forget? Do you normally greet people by shoving your nose into their laps like an erre to talk for a heartbeat? Pierre's eyes grow wide and flat. Then he laughs under his breath. Only the ones alike. Pierre traces his empty wine glass for the long abandoned tumbles waiting on the counter beside him. Soft lumps of ice in the watery dregs of whiskey. What was he? Classic Bolivian. The truth is I despise most people. His eyes flicker over my shoulder and again while Leander's boosters loudly erupts from the other side of the bar. What about me? Now that we have started off on the right foot. Playing nice? Don't think I have forgotten how naughty you were before. He looks me over with an agonizingly slow gaze. Finally his lips quiver. Honestly, I haven't made up my mind about you yet. It's a start, or so I think until his eyes rise away and he turns back toward the bar. I have got no idea how I'm supposed to hold a conversation, much less get answers. I knew beer wouldn't make this easy for me, not when he clearly enjoys spring games. Are you going to tell me anything or are you having too much fun? He lets out a short breath. This isn't a game to me. I lie. I'm close enough to catch the subtle bristling of his tail. If anyone's fooling around, it's you. People like us can't help but attract danger. Yet you seek it out and for what? Cheap thrills? I wasn't trying to get eaten by soulless. There's something I'm looking for. And you think Mihin can help you? Leander? Are you really willing to risk your life with us idiots? What a life. You have got no idea what I have gone through, or forget it. I start to rise, but something flicks against my ankle. Pierre's tail is little more than a brush, but enough to give me a pulse. His eyes, softer than before, search mine. I couldn't even begin to understand you, but I could. How do I know I can trust you? You don't. But I'm slightly less inclined to waste your time with empty flattery or insults than those two. Is what you desire really worth risking your life for? If you knew the kind of life I have lived, you wouldn't be asking. Pierre considers the condescension of his glass for a long moment before speaking again. Will you trust me? No hay una opción de dos. Y no quiero. For now. For now. Good enough for me. Pierre raises the tumbler to me, then nods the dregs back. Once finished, he wipes his mouth on the back of his hand. Let's talk outside. We could both use the fresh air. That he slips away from the bar, leaving me to follow his long, curling tail through the crowd. It's so cold, the breeze cuts clean through my bandages, numbing my fingertips. But if the chill bothers Pierre, he doesn't show it. He looks purposefully down the street into an alley. As far from the wig, the bar's racket is little more than an indistinct hum. The street is silent in the dead of night. A vague sense of unease falls over me. You had questions. Ask. Pierre's breath means the cold moonlight. His shadow stretches unnaturally long over the cobblestone street. Quickly, I have got a show to attend. An utterly exquisite luteist is performing in Hightown. You can't be serious. Here I thought you appreciate it when I keep it quick. He looks down his nose at me, effortlessly imperious. For a heartbeat, I'm reminded of the dark one that gleamed in his eyes when he touches me. If he weren't so pretty, I'd walk away. But I need answers, and I can't think of a better way than starting with the people I met earlier. But beer doesn't prove trustworthy. Maybe one of them will. First, I ask about Ice. I like to know more about Ice. You two seem close. He made an impression, And not surprising, his strong, restless isn't on the ice. Gives it almost as well as he takes it, even if he's awfully greedy. I don't, but I'm too distracted by the chance that's come over beer to ask. So his smile pressed on his lips as he winds a finger around the chain dangling from his collar. I thought you didn't like them. You didn't like most people. Ice isn't most people. He's better. For ice meat and beer's tender expression chorus. He makes a tiny sound of distaste in the back of his throat. He's more trouble than he's worth. Dangerous too. Stay far away from him and those red-eyed freaks if you value your safety or your sanity. But why you scold me for going to the sea spring? I really don't think Ace is as bad as you are saying. You don't know him, not like I do. The corner of his lip twitches. Emas. I'm done asking about the people I met. And good thing too. The longer I talk, the further Beer's attention strays. He keeps casting furtive glances down the street. He hears picking at the distant sounds in what I can only interpret the growing impatience. I'm boring you. Hardly. I was hoping we might discuss someone more interesting. You want to talk about yourself? No, I'm more interested in learning about you. That catches me off guard. What about me? I think worth having comes easy. Or sheep in this world. You're clearly set on this thing you have spoken of. Your very reason for being. Yet, have you considered what might happen should your struggles prove futile? If what you desire is beyond your grasp? I'll find what I'm looking for no matter what it takes. I won't give up. I can't. Even if you lose everything? Haven't you noticed? I really haven't got much left to lose. You cling so tenaciously to the slim hope. How fascinating. Now, where were we? Oh yes, you had two questions left. Good, but you haven't explained anything. Then I just suggest you make your last questions count. So much for being helpful, but I suppose that's just how information works in this exhausting city. Leander told me that the Xenobian impressions people. Did he mean you? Leander is a mourning fool with a throwing victim complex. He loves to see himself as a savior, but the only difference between his cronies and the Xenobian stouches are their uniforms. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what surprises me more, the bluntness with which he speaks or the venom in his ordinarily silken voice. You're asking who, when you should be asking why. Is the asshole counting my questions? And why were you impressing it? For the same reason the tsunami will just snatch you away. I'm something special. Bear wolves his head, gathering his hair in his hand and lifting it from his shoulders to bare his neck. This color turns his neck, inviting me to lean closer. It looks remarkable, doesn't it? I assumed that Bear's color was a personal touch. On closer glance, the thick, supple leather is molded to fit his neck snugly. But, but the large, silver buckle seems easy enough to pry open. No quiero tocarlo! I reach forward to touch the buckle. Bear's hand lashes out. Long, slender fingers wrap around my wrist and flex, exerting just enough pressure to hint out how easily he could snap my bones. Ish, don't you know better than to touch without asking? Can I please? Or I smeared his skin with amusement. Haha, I give it look. No, you may look, but don't touch. Let's go my arm. I smooth down my bandages and can lose my composure again. By now, I fully expected Pierre to walk away, but the fact that he's still here suggests he either forgot about his warning, or he was never counting my question to begin with. Are you saying that what will happen if the Xenobian finds out I'm different? Will it be colored? Doubtful. They keep me around because I'm the best at what I do. And what exactly are you the best at? Killing. He says it. He says it carelessly without hesitation. As long as a word is colored, I met to hunt the Xenobians dizzying array of enemies, monsters, soulless, noisy dissidents who grow overboard. I'm bound by their will until the day I die. That's awful. Your murmurs in agreement. It is, isn't it? And that's all I have time for. I really must leave now. I'll be late. That's it? Why did you bring me here if you weren't going to explain anything? It has the nerve to laugh. Isn't that obvious? I wanted to lure you out here alone so that I could eat you. You're lying again. And you're asking far too many questions for someone with so much to hide. He glances pulling out my hands, and I shove them deep into my cloak. What makes you think I'm hiding anything? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the dog act or the way you tense up at the slightest provocation. More likely it's the bandages. Not exactly subtle. Hmm? I'll be going, unless you are willing to share some more souls with me. There's a biting edge to his playful tone. I can't tell you anything wrong. You can start with what you are. I take a step backward, but my back hits a wall, and as Beer follows me in lockstep, he rests his left hand on the wall beside my head, edging me in. Bro, espacio personal. Beer reaches for me, his fingers curl under my chin and left, forcing me to admit by the gaze. You believe me if I say that the eyes are the windows to the soul? My eyelids twitch. Yeah, I know. But let me tell you a little secret. It is in until his lashes tickle my cheek and the warm, faintly spiced scent of his hair drowns out the stench of greasy cooking fires and chimney smoke. Says spin me down. There's nothing you can hide from me. Eee! Voice is so low, so soulful, I could slip into it. You poor thing. Lead astray by those you trusted most. You caused so much suffering unknowingly. I know that pain. I can help you forget it all. My heart hurts. My lungs burn. My lungs burn as though each breath is being stolen away. How could he possibly know? This must be some kind of freak, but for once, Beer isn't smiling. All the suffering has made your soul so irresistible. The look on his face makes my blood run cold. I have seen it before. Traveling to the wasteland hunters will occasionally reveal carcasses picked clean by starving scavengers whose eyes shone in the dark with that same ravenous hunger. Your takes a shuddering breath. You're trembling. What if you and I went somewhere quieter? No! Hello. No! Edgar! No morir! Ah, no! Part of me wants nothing more than to let him take me, to surrender completely to him. It would be so easy. But I'm not about to give up now. Violate the Ludist. Fear brings his voice comes out soft and breezy. Frame eases back and for what feels like the first time since he on me. I breathe, but my relief is short-lived. Never fingers are down my jaw before tinting my chin up. His touch is feather-like and teasing, but my pulse still leaps. One last thing, Tulip. Spoken so softly that the pounding of my hair nearly drowns out his words. Call me a dog again and I'll break you. Understood? His lips curve, but there's no humor in his voice. Yes, good. As soon as Bill releases me, I sink against the alleyway to catch my breath. He looks down on me. Let's get one thing straight. I ate a monster 3 times your size for breakfast. 2, actually. The first tasted dreadful, like a fisherman's antiquity or stray. But that's beside the point. You and I may be alike, but don't ever forget what I am. Or do best. Smiles wide enough to flash his sharp white fangs. As much as warning as the crash of shattering glass goes through the air. I whip around to see a drunk stumble past the alley, leaving a trail of beer. Ya no está. But he's gone, vanishing into the dark. I'm left in the deserted alley, trembling with a delirious mixture of exhaustion and excitement. Yuff! Calling once my racing heartbeat. Close do I make my way back toward the wake, guided by the distant sounds of river. Ahora vamos por Leander. Yet again, I find myself squeezing through a crowd to reach Leander. As the bartender leaves, Leander's expression falls with a spent sigh. He reaches over the counter to grab a bottle of black rum and willfully pops it open for a swig. When he spots me, worry overtakes him. Are you hurt? Realmente me caí un poquito. Leander's in front of me in a flash, like searching for injuries. I can't help but let out a small laugh. Don't worry, I have dealt with worse. It's a relief to hear, sort of. You know what they say, it's not a party without mayhem and violence. Ah! Is that what they say? He offers me the rum, and I politely decline. I'd rather not get into more trouble if I can help it. Instead, I plop down on a bar stool, doing my best. He sits beside me, resting his arm on the counter's edge behind us. With how close our schools are, I feel encircled by his body. 2 days and you have already met everyone worth knowing. How are you finding Iridia so far? No importa. Well, I'm still alive. Iridia is not the safest place, but I'm starting to think that nowhere is safe. I wouldn't know. I was born and raised here, and haven't felt a need to venture elsewhere. To me, this is home. That sounds like a fantasy. I had a home once, or at least I thought it was a home, yet even after knowing the truth, I can't stop missing it, whatever that temple was. Regardless, a pang of envy strikes my heart. Maybe once I'm free of my curse, I'll be able to try again. Iridia has its quirks, but you will get used to it, or it will eat you alive like a wild soulless. Truth be told, truth be told, I wouldn't have it any other way. Leander sips his rum and watches the crowd. Everyone seems invigorated by the free drinks on his tab. Have you at least gotten to try some Iridian cuisine? I had these fried dog sticks from a vendor near Cura's clinic. As soon as begin describing my meal, Leander nods with recognition. The long last from whence? You have tried them with the bridge. There's another stall a few blocks away that specializes in rosewater rice pudding. ¿Pudding? O gelatinita, algo así. I can take you there sometime. That sounds delicious and expensive. So I know Leander will insist on paying, porque soy riquillo. I despise the thought of relying on handouts. Or I can take you there once I earn some money. I still owe you for the in-room. You don't, you don't owe me anything. Philip, giving you a place to sleep isn't generosity. It's human decency. If there's anything I can do to help keep you safe, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Poeta. Everything he says feels alien to me. The concept of human decency has long felt obsolete in this world, let alone someone actually caring for my safety. I stare at him, inspecting those clear, emerald eyes for any hint of deception. There's something on my face? No. I sighed and leaned back. If only. Oh, what were you looking for? Honesty, whatever that looks like. You don't believe me? It's just that you're saying all the right things. I don't know. Maybe I'm just skeptical that someone like you could even exist. Leander considers this for a moment, swirling the room around in its bottle. He sets the rum back on the counter with a clink. The next thing I know, Leander carefully takes one of my hands in his. The letter is raw, but his warmth seeps through. I can change whatever happened in your past. Believe me, I will try if I could. But you are here now. I'll do my best to help you. I'm grateful you are even giving me a chance at all. My gaze drops to my hand, wrapped up in his larger one. I remember how he felt yesterday. His smooth skin was electric to the touch. If you have seen what I have done, you might feel differently. Hey, wow, bro. Estás muy cerca, bro. Dude. No, mi espacio personal. He lifts my chin with the crook of his finger, forcing our eyes to lock once more. You're not dangerous, Tulip. Trust me on that. My heart skips a feel, trapped in the softness of his expression and the lightness of his touch. His eyes are captivating, like good jewels peeking through long lashes. I don't get to admire them for long. Leander noticed some others watching us. Se sonrojaba. Se ponía tímido de repente, what the fuck. Ajá. He lovely clears his throat and pulls away. Well, maybe a little dangerous considering I forget my manners when I'm with you. You sure have a way of capturing my attention. A veces estoy pronunciando del asco ciertas palabras, perdónenme. Mi inglés, o sea, tengo fuerte en inglés, pero no tanto, no tan... Oiga, soy profesional. No, yo no soy profesional en inglés. No malinterpreten mis palabras. My face flushes. I also clear my throat and rack my brain for a response. I feel the same. It's why I wanted to talk to you again. Linda's face softens. I wanted to talk to you too. I've been wondering, is it okay that you are spending time with me? Do you have work to do with the other son or anything? I don't know how his group functions, but he sure likes to spend time at the wet week. Don't worry, there's plenty of work to do, but not tonight. Some days are slower than others. You came at the right time. I smile, comforted by the idea of having good luck for once in my life. Sorry I crashed your little party. I had no idea you all knew each other. I had no idea you knew all of them. How did you manage to meet everyone so quickly? I honestly don't know. It's been a whirlwind. I'm a little jealous. Part of me wants to keep you all to myself. Huh? No, excuse me? For your own safety, of course. Sí, como. Everyone might seem nice, but half of them are monsters and the other half have their own faults. You sound like you know them really well. I do, probably more than some of them realize. Are you curious about anyone? I'm happy to tell you what I know. ¿Quién tiene más afín? Ay, por hermoso y divino curas. Ya lo conocemos. Más o menos. Sigue siendo un misterio porque esto es un demo. Cura seems like a good person. I thought it's hard to believe anyone's a good person these days. What does your gut tell you? Good es sospechoso para mí. Conozco. I think he's suspicious. No one can be that good without that agenda. Usually I agree, but Curious has made me a believer. He works hard to serve Downtown. He's patched me up too many times to count. Sometimes you will come across people who completely change your sigamos. Sometimes you will come across people who completely change your outlook. It doesn't happen often, but in this case, I think you should trust him. Confío, pero a la vez no confío porque es un misterio que no lo conocemos. You make it sound so easy. It's not easy, it's necessary. What's the point of living if we can't trust one another? I must. By the way, have you keep our little secret? Or secret? He wiggles his fingers at me. Oh, he missed my curse. No one knows. Mentira. No one knows except you. Leander beams, his bright eyes twinkling at the corners. My heart flutters. I'm relieved to hear that. Let me know if you have some time to talk privately. I have already gathered some relevant information that you might be interested. Really? That was fast. I live to serve. It's barely been a full day. I don't doubt that Leander is flooded with connections, but I wonder what he's been able to dig up so soon. What kind of information? I'll share everything, but not here. There are too many prying ears. If you're not busy, we could go upstairs. It's hard for me to guide my eagerness. Or maybe it's desperation. At any new knowledge about my cures, my response comes out swiftly. I'm not busy. Leander gets to his feet, accessories jingling with each movement. Movement? After you. Only after we enter my inn room do I start to overthink the situation. The room is little more than a dark box with a bed in the middle, which I forgot to make. Well, I didn't forget, I just never expect to have guests. Yet here I am, next to Leander, alone. Leander locks the door behind us. Peace and quiet, except for the ongoing buzz of the bar right beneath us, and suspicious thoughts from nearby rooms. What the fuck? Hey, ¿qué están haciendo, gente? Leander moves with familiarity to the base. With a flick of his fingers, the sconces right up on the wall. He makes spill work look so effortless. ¿Por qué me miras fijamente? Dim amber light washes over us. He plops on the edge of the disheveled squeaky bed. La pronunciación que me está... Ah, ya me estoy cansando de la garganta. I shift awkwardly. There are no chairs, so my only option would be sit beside him. My heart hitches at the thought. Is something wrong? I shake my head quickly, waving my hands back and forth. No, nothing's wrong. Leander squints his eyes at me. He seems uncomfortable. A long silence later, he clicks his tongue. Rap? I'm so inconsiderate. This is your private space now, isn't it? I shouldn't be bargaining here like this. No, that's not. I'm sorry, Tulip. You have been through so much the past couple days. We can talk about this tomorrow. We should rest. Panic wells in my chest. After everything he's done for me, I can't shut him out. What if there is no tomorrow? When he moves to stand, I rush forward without thinking. I plant my hands firmly on his shoulders and seat him on the bed. Uy, que se note sus ojos verdes. I'm above him now, staring down into his wide green eyes, with barely a breath of air between us. I didn't think this far ahead. I didn't think at all. Instead, I forced out the only words on my mind. Don't leave, please. Don't leave. You're afraid. My fingers tremble. I'm about to pull away when Leander catches both my wrists in his hand. He guides my hands back to his broad shoulders, my palms resting firmly against him. I won't leave you, Tulip. Tears stinging in the back of my eyes. I want so badly to believe those words. I try to muster as much strength as possible so my voice isn't a crack. Do you promise? I promise. What if I'm paranoid about you being so nice to me? Then I'll keep being nice until you get used to it. I won't leave you, and you won't leave me. What the fuck? Thumbs crowd circles on the inside of my wrist, rounding me. You have something I have never seen before. Your curse is strong, yet you are stronger. The way you are able to contain it. It's fascinating, and it's a little embarrassing. His voice lowers to a whisper. But I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. Ooh. I stare at him blankly. Blankly? My brain refusing to process words. What did you say? What? Who said that? Nothing. No one. Just forget I said anything. I mean, I didn't say anything. Ha ha ha. Am I dreaming? This feels like a dream. There is dizzyingly hot, and I'm trying to keep up with what's happening, but Leander continues anyway. I may be getting carried away with this. It's not every day I find something that truly challenges me, but I'll do everything on your terms, at your own pace. Anything you want, Tulip. My chest feels like it's about to burst. No one is going to beat death of me. Tocar su rostro. I can't deny what I want, and I must be obvious to Leander too. But instead of having a modicum of restraint, I blurt it out. Oh, you are more forward than I thought. Is that okay? He slides his hands from my wrist to my palms and gently brings them down between us. It's better than okay. My lips quirk into a relieved smile. Hurry up, then. Your wish is my command. He begins unwinding the bandages, stopping occasionally to glance at me. I don't take my eyes off him. When my hands are free, I start small, carefully grazing the edge of his jaw with the pads of my fingers. I feel it clench beneath my touch, as if Leonard's trying his best to hold still. And abandoned, I cup his cheeks, letting the warmth spread beneath my fingertips. Well, are you enjoying yourself? My thumb moves over the ridge of the scar on his cheek and his shoulders. His ear jingling against my knuckles. That tickles. Yes, I'm enjoying myself. Maybe too much. It's like my body moves on his own. Spurred by desire and nothing else, I swipe my thumb down, brushing slightly over Leander's lower lip. Something fresh están poniendo muy. He lowers his voice to a husky whisper. What else do you want? Why is he even asking? He knows the answer. I have never touched someone like this before, and even though it makes my head spin, it's not enough. I. Bro. Bueno, tengan su momento. Me siento. Yo no sé cómo reaccionar. Are you alright? I can barely hear him over my tingling heartbeat. I nod, clumsily wrapping my hands with the bandages. Yeah, I'm fine, sorry. I think I'm just getting a little overwhelmed. He gives me a faint smile. That's cute. Luckily, we are already in your room. I'll get out of here and let you get some rest. A little of restless laugh at that. Leander rises and tucks his gloves back on. Thanks, Leander, for everything. He gives me one last sweet smile, accompanied by a wink. Good night, Tulip. Night. Long after he departs, I feel like I still feel the warmth of his skin on mine, burning through the bandages. I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight. I feeling nags at the back of my drowsy mind. I'm forgetting something really important. Wait, didn't Leander say he has some information for me? Bro. Esto fue todo. Thank you for playing. That el sitio web, creo que es sitio web, y así se llaman en estas plataformas. Yo lo sigo en Instagram porque yo solamente tengo Instagram. Y ya fue todo en la demo. Fue todo la demo. Espero que les haya gustado. Eso fue todo lo de la demo. Me gusta mucho cómo está dibujado, la verdad. Tiene muchos detalles. Los fondos, se utiliza colores muy bonitos. Me parece, a mí me parece muy bonito, bien hecho el juego. Y pues se espera que este año salga. No voy a decir ni siquiera las fechas, pues puedan a veces adelantarse, otras veces retrasarse o algo así, y pues pueden pasar cosas y pues se va a esperar a que saquen el juego completo, que todavía está en desarrollo, y yo sé que pues va a ser un juego muy interesante. Y eso fue todo. Gracias por ver el video, y sí, está un poco más largo, pero espero que les guste. Y díganme en los comentarios, no sé si quieren comentar o no, qué es lo que quieren ver. Probablemente siga subiendo más de Undertale porque tengo que terminarlo. Y voy a mirar cuando tenga tiempo. En fin, eso. Que tengan un feliz día. Que la pasen bien y que tomen agüita. Y cuídense mucho, bueno. Chao.